Welcome back, folks. This is Asteru. So welcome to part 11 of Let's Play Super Mario World. So in the last episode, we were in the Blue Switch Palace and stuff like that. So we're going to get further in like the Forest of Blues and get to some of these good segments here. So basically, once again, I'm going to go ahead and say this is like one of the sweet spots of this particular game, I'd have to suppose. This is where the stages really start to perk up in like their interestingness, I would have to suppose. Some good stuff here to kind of get. Definitely appreciate some of these stages. I mean, there are definitely more. I mean, this whole game is pretty balanced, I'd have to say, in terms of just entertainment and stuff like that. This definitely might be like the true best Mario game from like the 80s and 90s. I mean, it's kind of vanilla, but I still feel like it's a pretty nice one overall. I mean, Super Mario 3 is a great game also, but I think it's just a little bit tougher. I mean, it's a toss-up, I would have to say, for the most part, both of which are pretty solid enough to kind of get, but I feel like this one just is a little bit more compatible and a little bit more commercial. Just with things like not being able to save in Super Mario 3 and some of those type things, and just the old school atmosphere, I feel like this one's just a little bit more approachable. And the stuff you can do, you can return to stages and stuff like that. You don't have to only play through stages once. Some of those type things, just some good concepts. The stages were mad inventive in this game too. That's another thing I'd really have to say is just the fact that almost every stage in this game in some degree of format has some factor that was just thrilling to kind of fuck with. So it's just some great stuff to kind of get. Really appreciate it. Yep. This would have to say some good concepts here. So not a ton of progress in this particular episode, but I'm kind of looking after it. Like I said, I want this to be similar in fashion to like Blackthorn and Donkey Kong Country 3, I'd have to say, both of which are over 20 parts. I estimate somehow that this one's probably going to be over 20 parts as well. At least that's what I had intended. I just had to say I'm not really in a rush to beat this game just because I look after it. I mean, it's not going to be a speed run. I kind of look after it just being able to suppose. I want the enjoyment factor of just being able, you know, for folks, maybe you have a long car trip, maybe you're going from like New York to, or maybe you're going from like, you know, Texas to New York or something like that. You just got a long drive on your hands, some of those type pitches, one of those type things, this would have to say. Some good stuff like that. Maybe you're just bored, maybe yeah, this would have to say maybe the internet's out at your home and you have these videos saved if you have YouTube Premium or something like that. I'd have to say, is this kind of the concept I look after it. I would definitely suppose, and yeah, for the most part, I would look after it in terms of like downloading these videos. If you do download these off of here, I would say, as long as I were making money. I mean, I realize I'm not monetized, and this is pretty much like a, I don't want to say a DOA channel, but the likelihood of this channel popping off the way I want it to. So it's just, that's why, I mean, I want the view, I of course want the traffic on YouTube with the concept for situations where if you run out of internet at your house or something like that, I don't mind the downloads as far as that particularly kind of goes. But I just look after that as kind of the main thing about it. But yeah, some folks, I mean, that's the way World of Long plays is. If you know about them, they're basically like ones that pretty much have played through just about every video game damn near, just doing a long play format of it. It's just some good stuff to kind of get. But I mean, that's how I think if I were to watch YouTubers, that's how they would want it, or that's how I'd want them to want it. Me being able to download their videos and just be able to watch it in certain instances. That just kind of happens to be a thing. I realize there's not always going to be internet. That just kind of happens to be the thing about this, being able to say, if you need the entertainment, it's just kind of the content. It's definitely some good pizza viewage, stuff like that. Shout out to folks who just opened like a box of Pizza Hut like 5 minutes ago. This is like the segment where you want to do that. It's just kind of the concept, just playing those situations. Or shout out if it's like, you know, 3:45 in the morning and y'all are getting ready to go to Krispy Kreme or one of those Dunkin', one of those places to get some donuts at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning when they open, some stuff like that. Just get that with like a nice cold orange juice. I feel you. Some of those moments are excellent. Just being able to say when you've got stuff to do, you want to get like an Amazon card, get some of those type things, get some music, and it's like you just gotta wait for the damn stores to open. You need stuff like this. Now obviously watching it on YouTube is ideal. It's just kind of the concept where you still got 3 hours before everything opens. Because yeah, that's one thing about like the COVID years in particular, is it just deleted damn near like the concept of having like 24-hour stores. I mean, that's still something that continues to bug me today, is just the fact that Walmart is not open 24 hours anymore. It just needs to, you know, it's just stupid. You know, I just think overall it just, I realized the concept of it, but there was nothing like being able to walk into Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning, buy like a frozen pizza or buy like some Twix or something like that, one of those type things, to be able to get some good food. It's really tasty, you know. It really has a pretty good concept of that. Now it closes at 10 or 11 o'clock p.m. and this feels kind of doofy. I mean, you know, when you're 23, or I'm not 23, but you know, when you're in your 20s, 30s, anything past like, you know, about 16, 15, I suppose, having a curfew just in any sense, even if it's government ordained, is just pretty cheesy, I'd have to suppose. Just kind of the concept of this doesn't add up saying, the store saying for you, go to sleep. I mean, what if you're a night owl? This is kind of the concept. There's things that need to be open. For the most part, most people, just post-COVID, go to sleep at like midnight. It's like, quit doing that. You know, just get rid of that, man. That happens to be a thing, but so yeah, it's the basic concept. Just being able to suppose definitely after-hours type vibes for morning folks. I mean, I do feel like some of these videos can kind of bleed into being like morning videos as well. Just the concept where the sun is rising, some stuff like that. Just being able to say it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Even if you already have the munchies and that type of stuff, just being able to say, if you've already, by munchies I mean the food, just being able to say if you've already got like bag of donuts in the other room, something like that, just have to make the bacon, some of those type of things. It's a good concept, so it works. This kind of thing. This is what this game is made for. This is a classic here. I mean, it's this kind of the concept. It should be easily known. You know, everyone's played this game, damn near. It's this kind of concept. At least folks that are, you know, just, I mean, but even I feel like the youngest of Gen Zs and like the new generation Alpha, some of those type folks, this is just a game that's just one of those ones when you think of retro games, this is an ideal type one. This is one that even if you were born like in 2012 or 2016, something like that, I'd still say this is a pretty good pitch to kind of fuck with and know like the ropes about this particular one. It's just classic, this kind of thing. It's just like, you know, growing up and not watching like The Wizard of Oz or Star Wars or Jurassic Park or Twister, some of those type ones, you know, some of those particular type ones. There's other ones, obviously, in terms of noteworthy movies, but, you know, it's the ideal type ones that should just be simple logic to fuck with, this kind of thing, but that's this kind of thing. So yeah, we're just gonna get through more episodes here. That's why I'm taking my time, not really caring if I die that much in this particular episode, because this is a fun world. Not even angry when I do die. I mean, for the most, I can see it being kind of a buggy situation, just kind of being like drat or something like that, saying one of those type words, drat, rat, something like that. But this, it's not really that. I mean, there's later stages. There was a stage in like the previous episode, one of those bridge stages that kind of pissed me off a bit, or the water stage, the Soda Lake stage. But for the most part, this is not. When you get some of these good stages here, it really hits a thrill for that. You should just totally, you should be like, damn, I'm gonna do this for like the next 5 weeks. Just order pizza like every Thursday, just watching this playthrough. It's kind of the thing. This works for that. But yeah, I think every single one of these stages in the forest world has like, I want to say like a secret exit, and that's just basically the concept. There's one of which, to get, I feel like there's enough people who might have like 95 exits or something like that, and they've always wondered how to get the 96 one. If you're one of those people out there that has 95 exits and you could never figure out, you played all the stages and you can swear you did, and you don't know how to get that 96th one, you say that there's only 90, you know, a star will appear by the 96th number when you've completed the whole game. Basically, this particular world right here, you have to beat in like the normal fashion and the secret fashion, despite the fact that it leads to the same exit, and that's just kind of the concept. That I don't know, it's just something that they decided to do, but I look after it's a good concept, but this is kind of something I think probably trips up most people. But you know, I would have liked for them to have thrown in an extra stage, but it's just that's basically the difference probably for most folks. I'd have to say, if you're on your 95th, can't figure out what the 96th one happens to be. If you've seen everything in this world, including having beaten the special world, that's kind of the thing. But that's kind of the concept about it. It's just, yeah. So I look after it. I actually don't remember the normal exit in this particular stage. I just would have to say, oh, that'll probably be in the subsequent episode, or obviously it will be. We'll get to that in particular. So good stuff, just would have to say. That about wraps up this particular episode. Just would have to suppose I'm gonna have to. I mean, some of these ghost houses can stump you in certain sense. They do, like especially with that Super Mario World: The Lost Levels. If you ever play that ROM hack, like I was talking about in the last episode, it can be stumping some of those ghost houses. But some of these I don't remember in this normal game. But subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching, and of course, have a wonderful night, folks.